The architect's silence in the context of chapter 10. Capricorn, the devil card isn't about evil or sin in the religious sense. It is the card of material mastery and the chains of the physical world. Because Capricorn is ruled by the earth element and the planet Saturn, the devil represents the heaviest, most dense part of our existence: money, status, physical safety, and the systems we live in. The devil's trap, breaking the chains. The trap was the system. They told us to wait for God to drop a coin from heaven while the corrupt kept the keys to the vault. They sold us ignorance disguised as faith. I realized I didn't want a miracle. I wanted release from the shackles of poverty. I wanted nice food. I wanted a life where it didn't flood when it rained. I had to reinvent myself, like the phoenix bird bursting into flame, to become the king who needs nothing. The siesta of the soul. I wanted control, not over others, but over my own time. Financial freedom isn't about the watch on your wrist. It's about the siesta of the soul. It's the ability to sit in an alley in Hanoi or a temple in Laos and let the time pass without caring. I worked the long hours in the dark so I could finally drift in the light. The reflection, the Manila boy. I look at the reflection of the Manila boy. He's still there, but his features have changed. The wrinkles aren't signs of age, they are the maps of the journey. I tell him, "You are safe, the dam is built." It's not that I've made it and stopped, it's that I've accepted the process. The ascetic king doesn't wear the golden mask anymore. He doesn't need to be seen to be powerful. The ascetic reality check. I see you. You're scared. You're hiding behind your ego because you're afraid to be seen at the bottom. You're lazy because you're waiting for a miracle that isn't coming. I was that boy in Manila. The devil isn't a monster under the bed. The devil is the comfort that tells you tomorrow is soon enough. Tomorrow is the graveyard of the poor. Build the stone today. The 4 audits of Capricorn. On the ghost in the machine, automation. Most people are self-employed slaves. If they stop working for a week, their income dies. Capricorn is the architect. The scenario: if you had to disappear into a siesta of the soul for 30 days with no phone and no internet, what part of your income would still hit your bank account? The question: what is the one task you do every day that a piece of software or a hired assistant should be doing instead? 2. The status tax, conformity. In Manila and many cultures, there is a heavy tax on success. You are expected to treat everyone, buy the branded bag, or upgrade your car the moment you get a raise. The scenario: think of the last time you felt pressured to act wealthy, buying a round of drinks, wearing a specific brand to a meeting, or staying in a hotel you couldn't actually afford. The question: what is the one golden mask expense in your life right now that you could cut today without actually losing any real power? 3. The flood-proof life infrastructure. You mentioned wanting a life where it doesn't flood when it rains. This is about physical and financial infrastructure. The scenario: for someone living in a vulnerable area or a paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, flooding is a constant fear. The question: if the system, the government, the banks, or the local economy collapse tomorrow, do you have a dam built, like an offshore account, a physical asset, or a global skill that keeps your family dry? 4. The no-budget authority. The ascetic king is powerful because he cannot be bribed. The scenario: someone offers you a golden opportunity that pays well but requires you to sacrifice your freedom, your sleep, or your integrity. The question: how many months of freedom money do you have saved right now that would allow you to say no to a toxic boss or working longer hours and juggle 2 jobs? Survival Audit 10. The ascetic reality check. 1. The ego versus the purpose audit. The problem: you're too scared to look broke while you're building. You'd rather stay in debt to keep the neighbors impressed than wear a simple linen shirt and save the capital. Your ego is a bill you can't afford to pay. The scenario: you want to start a business or a YouTube channel, but you're worried about what your old classmates or your cousins will say when they see you starting from zero. The action: kill the golden mask. Do one thing this week that makes you look unsuccessful to the world. but moves you closer to your goal. If you can't handle being laughed at, you aren't ready to be followed. 2. The active laziness audit. The problem: being busy is not the same as being productive. Many people are lazy because they do the easy, repetitive work to avoid the hard, scary work that actually builds the empire. The scenario: you spend 5 hours scrolling for inspiration or editing a logo, but you haven't made a single sales call or finished your blueprint. The action: identify your heavy stone. What is the one task you are avoiding because it requires deep thought and discipline? Do that first. Stop hiding in the busy work of the slave. 3. The God is not your ATM audit. The problem: you've been programmed to wait for a miracle. You've been told that God will provide while the system drains your bank account. This is spiritual laziness. The scenario: you are praying for a drop of coin from heaven while your house is flooding because you didn't build the dam. The action: become the miracle. Capricorn is the sign of the self-made. Shift your prayer from "give me money" to "give me the discipline to build the dam." God provides the stone, you provide the sweat. 4. The security is a lie audit. The problem: you are scared to leave your safe job because of the system. You think the government or your boss will protect you. The scenario: you hate your life, but the fear of the unknown is bigger than your hunger for freedom. You are choosing the certainty of poverty over the risk of wealth. The action: look at your bank account. If your security cannot survive 6 months of a crisis, it isn't security, it's a cage. Start building your side exit today. Work the long hours when nobody is watching so you can drift when everyone is struggling. The codependency kill. I grew up in the noise of Manila, where we were taught to wait for the rain to stop, wait for the government to fix the drainage, wait for a leader to tell us it's our turn. That is the codependency trap. It's a toxic relationship where the system keeps you just poor enough to be desperate and just fed enough to be quiet. I realized that if I kept waiting for the government to build the dam, I would drown in the next storm. The Ascetic King doesn't ask for permission to be dry. He doesn't wait for a coin from heaven. He stops the active laziness of complaining and starts the silent discipline of building. I realized that my freedom began the moment I stopped expecting the people who broke the world to be the ones who fixed it for me. I am not a victim of the system. I am the architect of my own escape. True wealth is the freedom to afford everything and need nothing. I am not a victim of the system. I am the architect of my own escape. The world has no borders for me. The horizon is my home. Build your dam. See you in chapter 11.